happiness, followed by a lifetime of happiness. So sorry we can't be there, but we'll be keeping you in our thoughts. Lots of love. And also from Freya and Nathan, who say, John and Hannah, wishing you a wonderful wedding day and a lifetime of happiness together. Congratulations. Wishing we could be there with you with all our love, Freya and Nathan. So now, traditionally at this point, I am meant to sing the groom's praises and tell you about his many good points. I'm afraid to say that I can't sing, and I won't lie. I am slightly bothered by the title of Best Man, but whilst I'm delighted that Jonathan has finally admitted that this is the case, I think it's only fair to say that I'm a pretty good man, and today, John is the best man.
Hey!
Despite knowing each other for 17 years, John and I haven't always been friends. In fact, for the first 2 years, we were more like enemies. One of my earliest memories of John was him stabbing me in my hand with a sharpened pencil about the games one day. Admittedly, I had just Richard's sports bag, but salvation was at hand. For like something out of 2001 Space Odyssey, a large yellow skip full of broken computers and old electronics appeared in the school playground one afternoon. And it was at this moment in time that John and I realised we had a common interest. Of all things electrical and mechanical. Since then, we've never looked back. Unless, of course, we've just walked past a skip. So, what can I tell you about John that will throw some light on his character that you haven't already heard on Crime Watch UK or Well, John at school was an extremely hard-working and conscientious boy. On numerous occasions, he would stay behind after school in dedicated evening classes in order to do more work. Yes, these classes were called detention, but that's commitment for you. Ever a caring boy, John would sometimes write polite notes informing teachers of when they needed to comb their hair, or put glue on their chairs to make sure they didn't ever have to leave. Jonathan is in fact an extremely talented dancer. And in 2001, I believe, he appeared on Saturday morning television with his two brothers, where he performed a Pokemon rap, judged by Anton Deck. Sadly, however, his efforts were never really truly appreciated, or ever really understood. And John retired from show business. However, his efforts can still be seen, immortalised on YouTube. Jonathan is also an accomplished pyromaniac and bodger extraordinaire. And during our youth, we spent many weekends endeavouring to advance the field of science and technology. I'll never forget the time he tried to build a bomb in his parents' garden. It failed to explode, so we safely defused it by chucking bricks at it. All the time he manufactured chlorine gas, using salt water and a car battery charger. All the time, we got banned from the Neaton dump. For joining a VCR. And as for traffic lights, all I'll say is, they're too big to fit on the back of a bicycle. In many respects, it was this rebellious side to John that I was attracted to, because I was always too much of a coward to ever get into trouble. and as the years rolled by, John became like an older brother to me. And like all good older brothers, John has been the first to venture into the unknown and achieve various milestones throughout our lives. He was the first to discover girls, the first to take up cycling, and the first to pass his driving test. Achievements I've always treasured with respect and advice I've always respected. However, he was also the first to get slapped by a girl, to dislocate his arm in a cycling accident, and the first to crash his dad's car into a wall. But joking aside, there have been other firsts that John has always excelled at. He was the first to graduate and get a full-time job, the first to buy a house, and today, the first to get married. I believe marriage will be good for John. It'll teach him self-control, restraint, and respectability. However, now that you're married, Your levels of domesticity need to greatly improve. Your bachelor habits will no longer be sufficient. You must learn not to use the bin as something which provides, but something which disposes. You will find that an extensive collection of medieval weapons or bits of broken computer do not count as interior design. You will unravel the mysteries of the kitchen. The saucepan is not for soaking your bicycle chain in petrol, and butter knives are not makeshift screwdrivers. Drinking wine from a box on your mantelpiece is no longer acceptable. The Garden does not double up as an air rifle range or a test site for homemade explosives. And cats are not for use in experiments which disprove quantum mechanics. So, John, I would like to say to you, you're a lucky groom. You have married Hannah, and ever since I've met her, I've known she's kind-hearted, friendly, funny, loving, and caring. And she deserves a good husband. So thank God she married you before she found him. So, if I could all ask you now to raise your glasses to love, to laughter, a happy ever after, to John and Hannah.
To John and Hannah.